What's good, everybody? I appreciate you checking in. All right, the NFL draft is completely over. And because the first pick or so, and maybe a couple of the picks in the mid rounds didn't work out exactly how the majority of us wanted, some of us wanted a tackle, a right tackle. Some of us wanted a quarterback. I wanted to sit and digest this. I wanted to kind of see how everything played out and kind of really understand why Tom Telesco may have made the moves that he did and the picks that he made without jumping to conclusions. So I'm going to give you my feedback on what I think the picks are, how I feel about them, and I'm going to go through and grade each and every one. And so, but before I do, if you can, please like this video, subscribe, turn those notifications. I would definitely appreciate it. And for all you guys that tuned into the live event for day one and day two, I appreciate you. And so let's get into it first, right? I think it was surprising to all of us with the 13th pick in the first round. We went ahead and we picked tight end Brock Bowers. Now, first, let's go ahead. I want to preface this before I kind of get into it. I love the player. Brock Bowers is probably every year there's a player in each draft that is touted as a no brainer, an instant Pro Bowler, right? Last year is Bijan Robinson, the running back that was drafted by the Falcons. And this year, I think without the injury that he had last season, playing with Georgia, I think he would have been that guy without question, a guy that can automatically come in and have a massive positive effect on a football team. And I think he could with us. So I love the player. I think he is going to be an amazing player. Now, how does he fit with the Raiders and what we've done so far? And this is where my concern comes in a little bit, right? Me personally, I wanted Talisi Fuaga, and he was picked right after us going to the Saints. I know a lot of people wanted us to trade up for a quarterback, but that didn't happen. Now, the problem, the only issue that I have with this pick is one, how does that, because you don't address the need right away, how were our picks going to play out later in the draft? And I'm going to go over that in a second. But you didn't pay a lot for a quarterback. We have Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell that's going to take snaps under center, not a quarterback that's going to be throwing 50 times a game. And so we have a lot of players, whether it be Brock Bowers, Devonta Adams, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Michael Mayer, our second round draft pick last year, which we traded up for. There's going to be a lot of players that want to get fed the football. And I can see us in a situation we're going to be a run heavy type of football team. And Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, we may only throw the ball 30 times a game. We're not going to throw 45, 50 times a game like you would see with Patrick Mahomes or some of those other quarterbacks that throw all day. Dak Prescott, he throws the ball 40 plus times a game. That's not going to be us. And so you're getting a guy that is going to be a big threat in the passing game, but I don't think that's going to be what our offense, what our identity is going to be. So I would have much rather us go right tackle or possibly quarterback, but go right tackle to where now you can protect the quarterback, because a quarterback is no good if he's on his back all game long. But at the same time, you open up running lanes for those running backs if we're going to be a run heavy type of football team. And so that's why, to me, I didn't initially really understand it. I totally get the player. I think he's going to be an extremely good football player, but I don't know if we're going to be able to use him exactly the way that we may want to, or to be able to get the best out of him. And so, again, I want to sleep on it. I want to see how the rest of the draft played out to see how we addressed our actual needs, whether it be quarterback, right tackle, and another cornerback, probably a number two. Jack Jones will be our number one, but our other cornerback. And so I want to see how it played out, and I'll get into it. So my initial reaction is I'm going to give this basically a B minus. A B minus because we got probably the best player on the board, or he was the best player on the board, without question. He was, without question, the best tight end coming out of this draft by far. And so, but again, I have all the questions that I just stated. So I'm going to give this one a B minus. Let me know in the comments down below what your grade is on this pick. Now it's going to round two. Round two, at pick number 44, we got Jackson Powers Johnson. And now look, I love this pick. He was probably the best. I know he played center, but he's taken reps at guard. I love this pick. Without question, I love it because we needed to anchor the inside of this O-line. I understand we picked up Cody Whitehair. I do not think he's a starter at all in this league anymore. He's just a rotational piece, but we needed a right guard, and I think we picked it up. I think Jackson Powers Johnson is going to be an instant day one starter at the guard position, and he's a monster. He is an absolute monster that is going to maul defensive linemen across from him. So I love this pick. I think what it does say that we might see Thayer Mumford at right guard. So, I mean, at right tackle, but I'll go into it more. And so let me know. I mean, not only is he probably the best offensive tackle or best interior lineman coming out of this draft, but I mean, it fits an absolute need. And so, and he got the award for the best center in college football last year. So you got to love it. I give this an A. I give this an A without question. I love the player. I love where we drafted him because I believe his overall draft stock was overall consensus had him at rank, I believe it was 28, I believe, but we got him at the 44 spot in the second round. I absolutely love it. So I give it an A grade. Let me know in the comments down below what you give him. Now let's go to round 3. With the 77th pick, we picked up Delmar Glaze, so DJ Glaze, and out of Maryland. And look, this is the problem that I have with this pick is number one, like I said about the Brock Bowers pick, I wanted to see how we addressed and how Tom Telesco could read his board, read the board and the other, I guess, tackle needy teams in the draft. And this one was a complete reach. He was the overall consensus, I think, 144th player on the majority of NFL experts' boards. And we picked him at 77. So across all the NFL analysts, the NFL experts, they say this was an absolute reach. And the reason why it was a reach is because at the end of the second round and just before us in the third, a total of 6 offensive tackles went off the board. And I think Tom Telesco panicked. And so that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't address a need in the early rounds. And another thing to consider is in Tom Telesco's press conference, he said very clearly that offensive tackle is one of the hardest positions to attain in the draft. You know, getting these guys that are 6'5" plus, 320 pounds plus, to these monstrous human beings to be able to move and have the ability to play an offensive tackle against these high athletic defensive ends that we're seeing nowadays is extremely hard to find. And that's what he said. He said it in his press conference after day 2, is that offensive tackles are one of the hardest positions to find. But guess what? You passed it up. You passed it up in the first and second round, and you didn't address it. And you find yourself reaching in the third round for a player that was ranked 144 on almost all draft boards, and you get him at 77. And not only that, he is, when I went back and I looked at the film and I looked at what everybody was kind of saying about him, all the experts, they said he's a really good pass blocker. He thrives in pass blocking, but he really struggles in run blocking. And again, this is where I have a big concern, is that I believe we are going to be a run-first team. We don't have quarterbacks. Again, they're going to throw the ball 50-plus times. We are going to be a run-first team, and that's how we're going to establish ourselves. And you just picked up a tackle that struggles in the run game. I don't understand it. So to me, I'm going to give this pick a D+. And I give it a D+ mainly because it fits a need, because we need at least depth. I think it means that Thayer Mumford is going to slot in that right tackle spot. I think Thayer Mumford is our guy, and that's what this tells us. But you got to tackle that, one, you reached for, and two, he's not going to fit what I think we are going to do. Our identity is going to be as an offense is a run-based offense with Zamir White, Alexander Mattson. They are going to pound the rock, and then we are going to try to get ahead of the sticks, give, whether it be Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, some short 2nd and 4s, some 3rd and 3s, and allow them to kind of open up that playbook and keep that defense guessing when we have to pass the ball. I think we're going to be a run-first team, and we just found ourselves a tackle that the overall consensus is that he struggles in the run game. And so I give this a D plus. That's my grade on it. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you feel on this grade. Now, after the third pick, we address the right tackle position. We still need to address the we still need to address a corner position because we got Jack Jones. We don't know what Jacorian Bennett is going to be. We might need that number 2. And how do we do that? And in the 4th round with the 112th pick, we pick up DeCamarion Richardson. All right, DC Richardson. That's what I'm going to go ahead and call him. And so a tall, lengthy, fast, a 4-3 corner out of Mississippi State. Now, they say that he's a strong physical corner. He comes up on the run. He has really good run support skills, but he can get a little handsy when it comes to man. Obviously, with the Chiefs trading up in the 1st round to get Xavier Worthy, everybody says he's the Tyreek Hill replacement. He's not Tyreek Hill, right? Looking at Xavier Worthy, he has that straight line speed. Yes, he can get across the field really quick, but he's not quick like Tyreek Hill is. And so I think DC Richardson, I think he matches up well with what Xavier Worthy is, where he's more straight line, where he's going to try to get across the field quickly or try to beat you on top. I think it matches up well. And so it's not the corner that I wanted. The corner that I wanted later in the rounds, actually Kansas City picked up, which is Kamal Haddon out of Tennessee. That's the guy that I wanted. They got him in the 6th round. But I will give Tom Telesco credit. He addressed the position. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a B minus. I'm going to grade it a B minus because 1, it matches up speed with Xavier Worthy. We're going to have to see him twice a year. I think it matches up the same type of speed. Xavier Worthy is straight line speed, where DC Richardson, he's that same type. He's like a Sauce Gardner. He's not going to be extremely good with those quick, fast, quick twitch type of receivers. And so it matches up well, and it fit a need. We did need some depth. We need another a number 2 corner. So again, I look at it kind of a B minus. I do like the pick. We addressed a need. Let me know in the comments down below what you grade this pick. Now, rounds 5 with the 148th pick, we pick up linebacker Tommy Eichenberg. Now, initially, a lot of people didn't like this out of Raider Nation. They wanted us to go elsewhere. I like it. Reason being is because what Antonio Pierce was able to get out of Robert Spillane. If you remember when we picked up Robert Spillane when he played with the Steelers, a lot of people were kind of knocking him, saying, yeah, he's a run-heavy type of defender, but he struggles in the passing game. Well, guess what? Robert Spillane ended up being one of the best pass-defending linebackers in the league last year. And so we have Antonio Pierce that's going to be able to help Tommy Eichenberg really work his way into the NFL. And we need a linebacker. Divine Diablo, we don't know what we're going to do with him next year. And then when we do bring in a linebacker like Alexander Masterson, right? We need depth, and we need someone else to compete in that linebacking room. Tommy Eichenberg, I think, is going to bring all of that. He's going to bring the competition, and we can work on his pass coverage skills. Antonio Pierce proved that he could do it with Robert Spillane, and it's going to light a fighter under Divine Diablo. Divine Diablo is going to have to step up and prove that he can be that second linebacker in the box next to Robert Spillane. And another thing to remember, Robert Spillane's kind of on the, we might have another year or 2 left of good production out of Robert Spillane. You don't know if you want to extend his contract or sign him to an additional contract once he's done the next year or 2. And so Tommy Eichenberg could be that next guy that steps in if we let Robert Spillane go in the next 2 years. And so it could be just a good prep move, and he matches Tommy Eichenberg matches Robert Spillane's production and linebacker type just like Robert Spillane. So I like the move. I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give this a B. That's my grade. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. But I'm going to give this a B grade. I do like the pickup. And in the 6th round, we pick up running back Dylan Lobby. And so the reason why I like this pick is that it gives you Austin Eckler type of vibes. It gives you Danny Woodhead type of vibes, and both those players played with the Chargers over with Tom Telesco. But what I really like about this is we picked up Amir Abdullah off of a 1 year contract, and so this might be the Amir Abdullah replacement after this year. But just like another pick that we had later in the rounds, he serves also in the return game and special teams. And so you get a really good player, not only to rotate in that running back, in that backfield as that third down type of threat, but you also get a good special teams player, and you also get a good return player. And the thing is that with the new kickoff rules, you got to find yourself a good kick returner, because we might see 60% more kickoff returns in the NFL, and we need to find someone that can give us good field position when we do return those kickoffs. And so I'm going to give this one a B minus. I really like this pick. There was a couple other running backs that I may have wanted to bring in. One was Keelan Robinson out of Texas. That was a guy that I liked. He was still on the board at that time. And so, but I'm going to give it a B minus. So let me know in the comments down below what you grade this pick. Now, with the seventh round, with the 223rd pick, we pick up safety Trey Taylor. And again, this is another guy that was a great value at that spot. He was projected to go much earlier than what we picked him at. And we also provide, again, more competition. Now, did we need it? Because not only do we have Marcus Epps, we have Trayvon Moehrig, but we also re-signed Isaiah Pola-Mao. And so do we really need him? I don't think we absolutely need him. But what we're going to do is, do we extend Trayvon Moehrig? Do we extend Marcus Epps? Isaiah Pola-Mao, I believe, was only a 1 year contract. And so it brings more competition, but it brings an extremely solid safety to the table and special teams player. Again, just like I said about the kickoffs, when we need, not only do you need to address and bring in kick returners, but you need to now overemphasize the kickoff team. You need guys that are going to be able to get down and make solid tackles. And this is what you're going to get him. I mean, he's a grinder. He's a hard-nosed player. He's going to work extremely hard. The work ethic is already there, coming from, all the accolades that he achieved in college football. I really like this pick. I'm going to give this pick an A. That's what I'm going to grade it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this pick. And now with our second pick in the 7th round, at the 229th pick, we picked up MJ Devonshire. Now, I watched this kid's film. Again, it's another corner, which adds depth, which I really like. But again, a lot of his highlights were kick return, not only in the punt, but also in kickoff. So not only do you get depth in the corner position, but you also get another potential returner for that return game. And so again, I really like it. Another great value, because we picked him with the 229th pick, and he had an overall consensus of being picked in the around the 200s, or even as early as the 191st pick. And so great value with this pick. I do like what Tom Telesco was doing, trying to solidify that secondary, but also get kick returners and special teams guys into the building. And so I'm going to give this another A. I'm going to give this another A. Let me know in the comments down below what you grade this pick. Now, here's my overall consensus. Let's break down this draft as a complete whole. I didn't like the first pick because I think we had more needs. I think when it came to the right tackle position, I think Tom Telesco completely failed in addressing it, unless Thayer Mumford has already proven to be that solidified right tackle. Then you bring in a guy like DJ Glaze as a potential rotation guy, but he thrives in the pass blocking side, but not necessarily the run blocking side, where I think that the run blocking is going to be vital, because I think that's where our offense is going to thrive. But you get a great passing threat in Brock Bowers, and you get a lot of good depth pieces, a couple pieces that could find yourself at a DC Richardson and Tommy Eichenberg, two potential day one starters later in the rounds. And so overall, I'm going to give Tom Telesco, for his first draft with the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm going to give it a B minus. I'm going to give it a B minus, only because I think we got great value with a lot of good players, but I also did not like the fact that I don't think he hit where he could have in the right tackle as well as the corner positions. And so that's my grade, guys. what's what's awesome about this is we have free agency coming up. There's still a lot of players that we can address some of these needs. I know we just got some um, info just a few hours ago that we picked up Michael Gallup. That's one piece of that's one piece that I wanted to see us address. And when Brendan Rice was available in the 7th round, I was kind of shocked, even in the 6th, that we didn't pull the trigger, because not only do we need to find Devontae Adams' replacement in the very near future, but we also need depth at the wide receiver position. And I felt like we failed it at the end of the draft. But come to find out, we did pick up Michael Gallup. I think that's a good depth piece. So I like that what we did there. There's still some corners out there that we can pick up. There's also a right tackle that played with Green Bay last year that we could potentially bring in. So not only do we have more free agents that we can address some needs, but we have a lot of money coming in after June 1. So we might find ourselves playing a little bit more in free agency. So I'm excited to see how it works out. That's my grade. Guys, grade the entire draft. I know this is a long video. I appreciate you sticking with me, but let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with me. So again, B- for my grade for Tom Telesco as his first year with the Las Vegas Raiders as the GM. So I appreciate you guys again. Like this video, subscribe, turn on those notifications. I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.